hi-ho, your gas is getting low. But you're in luck, pull your car or truck into Zelmo, Zelmo, Zelmo's.
Introducing Zelmo's Fuel Rewards. Save on every fill-up. Visit stores for details.
But you're in luck, pull your car or truck into Zelmo, Zelmo, Zelmo's.
Always clean, always fast, always friendly. Zelmo Zip-In, fueling life's passions for 20 years.
The Springer Children's Theater presents The Cat in the Hat, March 3rd through 19th. Based on the timeless book by Dr. Seuss, a mischievous cat turns an ordinary rainy afternoon into an imaginative adventure that will delight audiences of all ages. The Springer presents Guys and Dolls, the Tony Award-winning musical comedy about rolling the dice and falling in love under the bright lights of Broadway. Coming to the Springer main stage March 17th through April 2nd. Tickets are on sale now at springeroperahouse.org.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Associate Artistic Director Keith McCoy, and this is
Danielle Patterson-Varner, the Managing Director.
And it is our pleasure to welcome you to our 2023-24 season announcement. Yes, it's finally here, and we thank you for joining us.
It's going to be a beautiful season.
And now, for the grand finale of our Around the World review, we take you down on the farm with our star, Miss Adelaide and the Hot Box Farmerettes.
To the Springer Opera House. That was Megan Cascone, Tamala Ransom, Cortland Holt, and Laren Woodward performing A Bushel and a Peck from Guys and Dolls, which opens right here on the Springer main stage March 17th. Don't miss it. My name is D.B. Woolbright, and I'm the Director of Education, and my department includes the Springer Theater Academy, our Arts and Education Outreach Program for 15,000 school students, PAIR, our Arts Integration Training Program for teachers, the Springer Children's Theater Series, our Theater for the Very Young series, and our newest program, First Act, a Theater for the Very Young touring program which provides free shows to underserved neighborhoods all over the state. Yes, that is a lot, but I certainly don't do it alone. Besides a host of teaching artists, designers, technicians, guest directors, and performers, my talented colleagues, one of them you just saw, Megan Cascone, Sam Bowler, and Kelly Leak are the core of the education team here. At this time, it is my honor to introduce Paul Pierce, Danielle Patterson-Varner, and Keith McCoy.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, Good evening, Good evening. Good evening, theater lovers, and welcome to the Springer Opera House tonight. You know, we have just celebrated, a couple of weeks ago, the Springer's 152nd birthday. How about that? At every phase of Columbus's development, the Springer Opera House has been at the vanguard of economic development, tourism, capital investment, and community building. When I moved to Columbus in 1988, it was said that you could fire a cannon down Broadway at noon and not hit anyone. The only fine dining on show nights was the Getch's House. Now, by the way, I love the Getch's House, right? You remember some white tablecloth dining there? Loved it. Scores of storefronts were boarded up, including many surrounding this building. You didn't go down to the river unless you wanted to get knocked in the head. 2/3 of this historic theater was still in ruins, and the Springer was recording fewer than 10,000 admissions a year. In 1988, the Georgia Council for the Arts, at that time, ranked the Springer Opera House number 28 out of 33 theater companies in Georgia. But look at us now. 112,000 admissions a year. Downtown is bustling, the river is alive again, nearly every house in the historic district has been saved and restored, and a vital cultural corridor has sprung up between the Springer and the river. Now, I don't think it would be fair for the Springer to claim all the credit for that transformation, but you've got to admit that we have always been on the front lines, fighting for downtown, investing in excellence, and keeping big ideas moving. Besides unveiling our 2023-24 season tonight, we are going to, I can't believe that, 2020. This is the 36th time I've stood here doing this. Besides unveiling the new season, we're going to be celebrating several extraordinary people who are making their marks around here and making history. On October the 1st, I will be passing the torch to a new generation of leadership, visionary leaders who will take the Springer to new heights and establish this theater once and for all as a national brand. These are proven leaders who have made us stronger, more agile, more innovative, more exciting, and more service-oriented. They are also people who are totally devoted to the Springer's fundamental company value, kindness. Allow me to introduce my dear friends. Yeah, I'll give you the cue again. Kindness. So now, wherever you go, I want you to tell people that you sat in a room one night and a whole crowd of people applauded the idea of kindness. Allow me to introduce my dear friends and esteemed colleagues, Danielle Patterson-Varner, who will become executive producer in October, and Keith McCoy, your artistic director.
I love you guys too. Thank you. Thank you, Keith. Oh, good evening, everyone. And again, welcome to the 2023-24 season announcements. I am Danielle Patterson-Varner, the current managing director, and your future executive producer and CEO. Like Paul mentioned, there is a historic transition taking place, and it is a true honor to serve the Springer and you, our loyal patrons and donors. Let me first take a moment to acknowledge governing executives, Board Chair Dr. David Levine, Past Chair Sally Turner, Chair-elect Lisa Powers, and Trustee Chair Frank Schley. I've said yes. I've said it before, and I will say it again, and I will shout it to the rafters. The Springer has the absolute best board there is. If you're a Springer board member or trustee, please stand. Thank you guys for everything you do. We have had a very fulfilling and exciting season thus far, and there is much more magic to come. So far this year, we have welcomed over 3,000 new patrons to the Springer who have never darkened our doors before. The Springer has the second largest audience in the state, and that is because your loyalty makes us strong and keeps us strong. We have also witnessed a record-breaking January with the hit comedy, The Play That Goes Wrong. Hey, if you know, you know, and you get it. The Springer has a miraculous way of capturing a special place inside you and never letting go. It drives me each and every day. And I'm sure there's a special place in your heart that keeps you coming back. As we turn the page to the next chapter of Springer history, let me assure you that the Springer has a bright future and is on the road to becoming America's premier regional theater. We will continue to bring you high-quality, innovative, and exhilarating productions, groundbreaking educational programming, while continuing to protect and preserve this National Historic Landmark, your State Theater of Georgia. Now, let me introduce my partner for the Springer's future, your next artistic director, my colleague and dear friend, Keith Patrick McCoy.
Oh, thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Nope. We're gonna try that again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Much better. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to our 2023-24 season announcement, and it is an exciting one. As you've heard, this is a very important night. And before we begin, I would like to share with you guys just a little bit. For my first show here at the Springer Opera House in 2009, I felt a true connection with this space, with this building, with the people, with the community. I recognized that the Springer was clearly a place that prioritized people, not only artistically or creatively, but personally. And it is that kindness that Paul spoke of that grabs you and keeps you here. Throughout the course of my career here at the Springer, I've come to know Paul and love Paul as a mentor, a leader, a friend. And I'm inspired to continue the great work that Paul has done. Let's give him a round of applause for all that he has done. As we look towards the future, the next chapter, my goal is for the Springer Opera House to be the premier regional theater in the Southeast. And then after that, there's a lot more areas on the map that we're going to take over as well. So, I have big plans. The Springer Opera House will become the premier regional theater in the nation. Now, yes, go ahead, that's right. Now, how do we accomplish this? We accomplish this through investing. Investing in our artists, our staff, our volunteers, investing in the Springer's emerging leaders, investing in the leaders that created these opportunities for us, investing in our community, the community that we love, investing in ourselves with abandon. Understanding that what we create in this beautiful building is essential to life. Creating an atmosphere that is centered on innovation, visibility, and accessibility. With all of this in mind, I look forward to serving this incredible organization by building on the theater's legacy of success with passion, dedication, and integrity. I'm thankful for the trust of the board, the staff, the artists, and this community. And I cannot wait to see what we accomplish on this journey together. I'm looking forward to our future together. Thank you so much. Hey, what are you doing back out here?
You can't take all the spotlight now. You got to leave some for me. Each year, we use this occasion to celebrate a Springer advocate who has made an indelible mark on our organization. We honor these inspiring family members with the opportunity to select a star for the Springer's Walk of Fame. This year's honoree has chosen William Buffalo Bill Cody. Buffalo Bill was an American soldier, Pony Express rider, bison hunter, and showman. For 50 years, Cody was the most well-known American on earth due to repeated world tours of Buffalo Bill's Wild West shows, plus countless novels, children's books, biographies, and magazine series about the Old West exploits. Buffalo Bill appeared on the Springer Opera House stage twice, once on November 13, 1875, in a frontier theme called Life on the Border, and again on January 5th and 6th, 1880, in Knights of the Plains, an Old West melodrama. Just like this year's Walk of Fame honoree, Buffalo Bill was a Nebraska rancher. You can still visit Cody's 44,000-acre Scouts Rest Ranch, that's a tongue twister, outside North Platte, Nebraska, with its 18-room mansion and a large barn for winter storage of the Wild West show's livestock. Buffalo Bill was also a supporter of women's rights and an early advocate for equal pay. This year, we are honoring a Springer historic preservationist, actor, friend, and a current member of the Board of Directors, Brian Ludke. former Nebraska farmer and retired Army major who moved to Columbus in 1985. He purchased the historic Lion House and fully repaired and restored it himself. Brian has served on boards of many organizations, including Historic Columbus, Historic Linwood Foundation, the American Legion, and the Historic District Preservation Society. As a member of the Springer Opera House Board, Brian has personally restored 28 decaying windows in the building and saved the Springer over $80,000 in window repair. Brian and members of the Springer staff have handcrafted, repaired, and installed each window, and we refer to Brian as the window revitalization specialist. Brian's meticulous attention to detail ensures that each window helps to preserve this National Historic Landmark. You may also recognize Brian from Springer shows such as Of Mice and Men, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, White Christmas, and of course my favorite, The Wizard of Oz. Brian's dedication and exuberant attitude brings a joy like no other to the rehearsal hall and to the stage. It was an experience of a lifetime to share the stage with Brian in The Wizard of Oz. You will also see Brian at the Springer each and every Friday night, y'all. He is a trailblazer for No Shame Theater. Brian has been a part of No Shame since the very beginning and is there each Friday night to encourage, perform, inspire young artists, and devise new original material. Brian has a prolific role in the City of Columbus, and we are very grateful for his service to the community and to the Springer Opera House. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage my dear friend, Brian Lutke.
Well, in the spirit of No Shame Theater, I'll keep this under 5 minutes. At 4 minutes, the lights will do this. It's a blink. 5 minutes, they'll go out. Just a few moments ago, you heard that I am from Nebraska. And some of you are wondering, well, what brought you down here? And I will tell you that it goes back to 1974. I was a junior in high school, and my English teacher, Elizabeth Hendricks, who was a very good-looking lady, was teaching a class on Southern history and Southern authors. And I sat there in class like this, looking at her. And it was at that time that I decided that I'm going to be a Southerner. Well, I wasn't a very good high school student, so I was trying to figure out how am I going to do this. Well, one of the things that I've learned over the years is we write our own scripts. And how I wrote my script was I figured out how to get out of high school, go to college, get into the Army, and get the Army to bring me here. And that's how I did that. And that's what brought me here. Now, so what I did was I went to college and I didn't know what I was going to have for a major. So I floundered around and I ended up having enough credit hours to get a speech, English, and theater degree. And then I went into the Army and I became a nuclear weapons officer in the artillery. Now connect that. Well, it connects. And it really was driven home to me when I came here to the Springer Theater, when I was talked to by Ron Anderson, who is here tonight with me, because this is his tie, by the way. And he said, life skills through stage skills. Well, I didn't realize that at the time, but I was speech, theater, English. As an officer in the Army, I was always in front of people, acting, speaking, writing, doing what I could do. The Army taught me how to be a nuclear weapons officer. You didn't get that in a 101 class in college. So that is how I did this. And so I wrote the script that got me into Columbus, Georgia. And some people were asking me, well, why Columbus, Georgia? Well, I'm very glad that I wrote that script. This is a terrific town. Now, when I got here in 1985, let me tell you, this was a different town. And I went down Broadway, and I wanted to figure out what this town was like, and the way to capture the soul and the spirit of a city is to get to the downtown. Well, this was a pretty dumpy place back in 1985. But I wandered down the street, and I found this bright spot called the Springer Opera House. And look what she has turned into since 1985. And I will tell you, back in 1985, we were producing shows. I went to shows that I don't remember, but I do remember them now. I do want to tell you that you can't talk about the Springer Opera House without talking about the Springer Opera House, and Paul has tried to drive that into our minds all the time. You have to talk about this place. This is a living, breathing museum. And what makes it human is all of us. The board, the trustees, the staff, you. This is what makes us human. So it's very important. We lost another theater in Georgia this week called the Lyric Theater up in the Atlanta area. It's a small theater, but what it does is it drives home and teaches us that this is a Darwinian world. And the strong will have to survive, and it is us who will have to keep this place strong so that we can survive. I don't want to bore you with a whole lot more because you've already been told. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sing for you. How's that? Huh? All right, everybody, somebody give me a rap beat right now. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to read a poem that I had written for the Springer. And what I would like all of us to do right now is just stand up and look around and look down. Just stand up, look around, look down, look at each other, look up at the ceiling. Cherish and hold dear this place that you stand, this place you call the Springer Opera House. I am strong. I have been here for 152 years. From this footprint, I have stood watch over this southern valley. The same hills, the same sky, the same sunshine, the same gusty winds. I have survived all that is not the same. I am strong. I share the joys and sorrows of the children of this valley. I'll educate and I will entertain them. Today, I fold into my arms the soul of another season, another year. I'll be here for you. All I ask is be here for me. I'll keep watch from this place which you stand, this place you call the Springer Opera House. Thank you.
And now, the 2023-24 Springer Opera House season. We will start with a children's theater musical that will be presented in July. Don't let the pigeon drive the bus. Hey! It's not easy being a pigeon. You never get to do anything. But when the bus driver takes a break from his route, there's only one hero who could quite possibly save the day. This lively musical about finding where you belong, featuring a combination of puppets, songs, and feathers, this comedic drive will be sure to get your toes a-tapping and your wings a-flapping. Don't let the pigeon drive the bus.
Kicking off our mainstay series is a brand new musical that tells the story of a dirt poor kid from Tupelo, Mississippi, who shook up the world and shaped the history of music and culture. Elvis, a musical revolution. Elvis, a musical revolution. Elvis haunted the clubs of Beale Street and worshiped in local black churches. He was influenced by Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Little Richard, B.B. King, and Fats Domino. He served dutifully in the U.S. Army and was lavishly generous to friends and strangers alike. Elvis, A Musical Revolution features the King's iconic songs, including That's All Right, Mama, All Shook Up, Heartbreak Hotel, Burning Love, Don't Be Cruel, and Jailhouse Rock. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Stephen Freeman to perform a medley from Elvis, A Musical Revolution.
Stephen Freeman. We launch our Theater for the Very Young series with The Itsy Bitsy Spider. The Itsy Bitsy Spider, this play is for itsy bitsies. It's about a determined little critter who climbs and climbs only to be washed down the spout whenever the rain comes. With the help of her friends, Bitsy learns that patience is the most important tool in overcoming frustration. Teaching audience members about resilience, teamwork, and positivity, the Itsy Bitsy Spider brings a new spin on a classic nursery rhyme song.
Our first studio series show is Cabaret. Set in 1920s Berlin in the twilight of the Jazz Age, Cabaret illuminates the nightlife of the Kit Kat Club and Clifford Bradshaw's love affair with cabaret performer Sally Bowles. Sultry, sexy, and wow. This Tony Award winner for Best Musical and Best Score is a masterwork by the legendary composer and lyricist team, Kander and Ed. Hit songs include Welcome, Don't Tell Mama, Maybe This Time, and of course, the title song, Cabaret. Here's Gracie Brantley and the Kit Kat Girls performing Mein Herr from Cabaret.
Not a lamb, mein Herr. You'll never turn the vinegar to jam, mein Herr. But I do what I do, and I'm through, then I'm through, and I'm through. Toodaloo.
Next fall, our children's theater series continues with the C.S. Lewis children's classic, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Enter a magical land where animals talk, trees walk, a white witch bewitches you with Turkish delight, and a mighty lion rescues you whenever you get into trouble. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe features chases, duels, and escapes, as the witch is determined to end the reign of King Aslan. Join Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy on their adventure of love, faith, and courage. Just open the door. You'll never believe what you'll find.
The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear. Elf, the musical. Elf, the musical is the hilarious tale of an orphan named Buddy who crawls into Santa's bag and is transported to the North Pole. Buddy thinks he's an elf, but his enormous size and poor toy-making abilities eventually force him to face the truth. He embarks on a journey to find his birth father and discover his true identity. The ever-optimistic Buddy is determined to win over his new family and help New Yorkers discover the true meaning of Christmas. This modern-day holiday classic is sure to help you embrace your inner elf. Welcome Rye Kavanaugh to the stage singing World's Greatest Dad from Elf, the musical.
Who's a million miles away. When he meets me, who knows what he'll see. Yeah, but deep down, I know I shouldn't be afraid, 'cause he's bound to be a lot like me, and will make angels in the snow till the snow begins to blow. Then we'll run inside and start a tickle fight. But if it's too cold to sled, we'll bake gingerbread instead and cuddle till he tucks me in at night. And we'll have our pictures taken for the Christmas cards we're making. Him and me in suits of matching plaid. And when people see us walking, they'll be oogle-eyed and gawking at Buddy and the world's greatest dad. What an accomplishment! We'll share a whole fruitcake slice by slice, making sure not a single crumb drops. And if I were to say I'm in a Christmas play, he wouldn't miss it for a million gumdrops. Well, when it falls and scrape my knee, he'll kiss the knee for me and make that poo-poo better than the chiz. If I should catch a cold or two or allergies from because inside me with his own handkerchief. Everything's turned cold. I know that there's a room full of hugs and jokes that make it seem as bad. I can't hide my admiration for this perfect combination. Buddy and the world's greatest dad. So I'm gonna try my best to be everything you'd expect of me. Promise that I won't stop until I'm done. So one day
Studio Series show is a shocker. So fasten your seatbelts. A Tuna Christmas. Columbus's most popular show is by now a genuine holiday cult classic. Over 45,000 people have seen this hilarious quick change comedy over the past 22 years. You know the story. The Christmas Phantom, UFO abductions, the yard display contest, Anita Goodwin and Helen Bedd, Aunt Pearl Burris, Dee Dee Snavely, Stanley Buellmiller, and a disastrous production of A Christmas Carol. Oh yeah, did we mention it's a love story? And in our 22nd season of A Tune of Christmas, we have a special surprise for Springer audiences this year. We are excited to announce that an actor that has helped the Springer generate over $1 million in sales for the show will return to the stage. Yes, Mr. Paul Pierce will recreate the first track in December of 2023. Yes. Paul will also handpick his stage partner for our track, which we will announce later this spring. Yes. All aboard for a tale of romance, revenge, and yes, primal murder. Murder on the Orient Express. Who done it? World-famous detective Hercule Poirot is determined to find out. 10 passengers are on board the luxurious Orient Express traveling from Istanbul to Paris. After an avalanche blocks the tracks on an isolated snow-swept mountain pass, only 9 of the passengers are still alive. Everyone becomes a suspect, and tensions rise as Poirot searches for a killer in their midst. Be there when Poirot unravels the astounding secret of murder on the Orient Express. Here's...
Tragedy, primal murder, and the urge for revenge. What better way to spend a pleasant evening together, no? In the beginning, it was an odyssey, deception, and trickery. One minute, I could see the light, like the beam of a prey vision hurtling past, and the next minute, all was darkness, and the thread that I pulled came away in my fingers and led to nothing. I believe it was the greatest case of my career. But who am I to say? Modesty forbids it. It was certainly the most difficult case I have ever encountered, and it's made me question the very deepest beliefs that I have held since I was a young man. It began in the exotic city of Istanbul, where I had planned on vacationing for several days following a trying case that was on my nerves. Everything began changing the minute I stepped foot into the dining room of the world-famous Tokatrian Hotel, where the enormity of the prices is matched only by the self-esteem of the waiters. My name, incidentally, is Hercule Poirot, and I am a detective.
That was actor Christian Bucera, whom you surely recognize from numerous roles in recent Springer seasons. Our final show of the Children's Theater series is Holes. Stanley is a boy who is wrongfully sent to a juvenile detention center, Camp Green Lake, and is forced to dig holes in the desert. Stanley eventually realizes that he and his fellow prisoners, Zero, Zigzag, Armpit, Squid, X-Ray, and Magnet, are digging holes because the warden is searching for something. Stanley will do his best to dig up the shocking mystery of Camp Green Lake.
Make sure I read my notes correctly this time. In mid-spring, a splashy musical for the whole family. Disney's The Little Mermaid. In a magical kingdom beneath the sea, Ariel swims to the surface, catches a glimpse of the human Prince Eric, and falls in love. Defying her father, King Triton, she bargains with the sea witch Ursula to transform her tail into legs. But the bargain is not what it seems, and Ariel needs the help of her friends Flounder, Scuttle, and Sebastian to restore order under the sea. This splashy fable will capture your heart with its irresistible songs, including Under the Sea, Kiss the Girl, and Part of Your World. Here is Courtland Holt singing Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid.
Look at this stuff, isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders can one cavern hold? Looking around here, you think, sure, she's got everything. I've got gadgets and gizmos aplenty. I've got who's its and what's its galore. You want thingamabobs? I've got 20. But who cares? No big deal. I want more. I wanna be where the people are. I wanna see 'em dancing, walking around on those, what do you call them? Oh, feet. Flipping your fins, you don't get too far. Legs are required for jumping, dancing, strolling along down the, what's that word again? Street. Up where they walk, up where they run, up where they stay all day in the sun. Wandering free, wish I could be part of that world. What would I give if I could live out of these waters? What would I pay to spend a day warm on the sand? The John lands, they understand, but they don't reprimand their daughters. Bright young women, sick of swimming, ready to stand and ready to know what the people know. Ask them my questions and get some answers. What's a fire and why does it, or what's the word, burn? When's it my turn? What is I love? Love to explore that shore up above. Out of the sea. Wish I could be part of that
Our final theater for the very young show for next season will be Deep Blue Sea. An adventurous sea turtle, Tuttle, loves to explore the vast ocean around her. As she plays with her friends, fishermen throw trash into the ocean. Tuttle and her friends seek help from an octopus doctor whose legendary skills are almost as good as her jokes. Will Tuttle remember what to do when something goes wrong? How will she teach those fishermen to recycle? This adventure teaches children all about the importance of keeping our waterways clean.
Well, I am thrilled to announce that Keith has asked me to direct this new play, which is perhaps the most exciting theater experience of the past 50 years. The 2022 Pulitzer Prize nominee for drama and Tony Award nominee for Best Play, it's The Minutes by Tracy Ellis. A comedy, yes, but it's also a stupefying mystery with one of those shocking theatrical endings of all time. Is there anything more American than a small-town city council meeting? The newly elected Mr. Peel arrives confused. He missed last week's meeting because of his mother's funeral, and he asked questions like, where is fellow counselor Mr. Carr? And why can't the minutes from the previous meeting be distributed? Something serious happened last week. It turns out the small town of Big Cherry is keeping a big secret. Maybe every town's secret. The Springer will field an all-star cast for this play, and I can promise you this, the most memorable evening of theater you've ever experienced. The Minutes. Now, before we go to the finale, there are a couple thoughts I'd like to share with you about my retirement. For the past 35 years, I've awakened each morning thinking about the Springer Opera House. That's not going to stop. As long as I live, I'm going to be fighting for the Springer, and the board has already got some ideas about that. We've come a long way since 1988, haven't we? The Springer's audience has grown 1,100% since then. That makes the Springer, you, Georgia's second largest theater audience. And so, Alliance Theater, we're coming after you. In 1988, we did a complete foundation-to-roof restoration and historic preservation project. Since 1988, we have quadrupled the size of the Springer endowment that protects that investment. We built the Dorothy McClure Theater and Education Center, providing a permanent home for children's theater, the Academy, studio shows, and new works. Over the years, we've presented 16 world premieres of new plays and 11 Southeastern premieres. We established a groundbreaking program that dozens of theaters nationwide have attempted to emulate. A program that has transformed lives, built audiences, and provided a catalyst for innovation unmatched anywhere else. The Springer Theater Academy. So now, this is the point where I am compelled to say the name of the man who brought that vision to Columbus, Georgia, my dear friend, stage partner, and UGA classmate, the late Ron Anderson. In 1996, my 8th year as director here, we had already tripled annual admissions. Pretty good. I could keep my job. But the truth is, I was feeling like I had sort of used up my bag of tricks. Yes, there were more people and more seats, and the Springer's balance sheet was in pretty fair shape. But our audience was graying. It became clear to me that in order for the Springer audience to grow more, become younger and more diverse, we had to find a way to fill up this place with children. Enter Ron Anderson. At the time, Ron was running one of America's biggest theater training centers for children, First Stage Academy in Milwaukee. I flew up there and spent several days witnessing this gigantic program in which children were being taught not just theater fundamentals, but advanced skills in improvisation, scene study, stage combat, dance, singing, and Shakespeare. And they had a philosophy, teaching life skills through stage skills. My last night in Milwaukee, I sat in Debbie and Ron's kitchen, told them about our renovation plans, and pitched the idea of them returning to their home state and building a life skills through stage skills program in Columbus. This wouldn't be a new position, of course, and the Springer didn't have the money for new positions. Still don't, come to think about it. But I rifled through the sofa cushions and made Ron an offer. $23,000 a year. Needless to say, Ron and Debbie were not impressed. But after I convinced Otis Burnham to do an in-kind donation for moving, Ron and Debbie accepted that lucrative offer, and the Springer Opera House, the Springer Theater Academy, was founded. Today, we have 650 students in our summer session, another 300 in fall, winter, and spring break academies. We serve 15,000 school children in our Arts and Education Outreach program, ArtServe, and our Arts Integration Training Program for Teachers, PAIR, is serving school systems all over the state, and we've just signed contracts for a new school system in South Carolina. A brand new creative enterprise, First Act, is taking children's theater to underserved and many high-crime communities in Columbus, free of charge. Now, the story of Ron and the founding of the Springer Theater Academy is important because it illustrates not only how visionary people can change the Springer, but how the Springer can change people. Believe me, I'm not the same person today that I was when Ron walked through the door. The Springer and the folks who work here serve on our boards, perform on our stages, study in our classrooms, and fight for the survival of this very fragile National Historic Landmark every day. Those people have changed me profoundly. I'm a better director, a more interesting, creative person, I think. I'm kinder and more inclined to think big. I'm willing to fail boldly. I'm less interested in me and more interested in we. The Springer has made me that person. You, Columbus, Georgia, has made me that person. You see this motto up here, Forever Springer? That's our social media hashtag, but it's also our orientation to our work. Forever. A theater that's been around for 152 years has the luxury, I would say the responsibility, to think about being here forever. Think about it, 152 years from now, in the year 2175. Isn't that a song? In the year 2175. In the year 2175, there will be a crowd of people sitting right here where you are. Those future generations will be able to enjoy this theater because of what you and your children do today. My friends, this is the last time you're going to see me on this stage doing a season announcement. In order to give Danielle and Keith and this fabulous board of directors the ability to propel the Springer forward in the coming year, I want to challenge you tonight to do 3 things. 1, subscribe. Buy season tickets tonight. 30% discount if you buy now. 2, donate generously to our annual fund, the Springer Society. And 3, remember the Springer in your will. Honestly. If you've already got a will, that's fine. Call your attorney and have them add a simple codicil. Just staple it to the back of your will. I'll buy the staple, okay? You don't have to be rich to do estate planning, but you do have a chance to do something that will have an impact here forever. Most importantly, I beg you, let art into your life. Music, dance, theater, sculpture, painting, writing. Look for ways to escape the linear, two-dimensional digital world of clicks and likes and factions and groups, and welcome the mysteries of art into your life. This place makes it possible for everyone, no matter how different, to have experiences that remind us of the one thing that binds us all together: our humanity. Thank you for letting me be your director. Thank you, my dear friends. Before I walk off, not for the last time, come on now. As they say in Spamalot, I'm not dead yet. Many of you know that I've got friends in Hollywood and on Broadway, and one of them has sent a message for you tonight. My old friend and classmate from the University of Georgia, Wayne Knight, you know Newman on Seinfeld, and many other movies and TV shows, has sent you a message. Wayne?
Mr. Wayne Knight is an incredibly prolific actor with a remarkable career spanning 40 years and counting. Of the vast array of films and shows he's been in, you may recognize him from Seinfeld, Jurassic Park, and Basic Instinct. He has a message about Springer.
Hi, I'm Wayne Knight. You may know me from Seinfeld or Jurassic Park, but what you might not know about me is that I grew up in Georgia, in a small town of Cartersville, and I hold a Bachelor of Fine Arts in Drama and Theater from the University of Georgia, much like a friend of mine, Paul Pierce. Paul, who was a classmate of mine many, many moons ago, and I both left Georgia and went off to regional theater. And what I learned at regional theater was that I had to move to New York or Los Angeles to become a professional actor. What he learned was how to run regional theaters. And after running several of them, he wound up back in Georgia at the Springer Opera House and spent over 3 decades turning it into what it is today, the State Theater of Georgia, and a gem which is a monument to one man's dedication to a community and to bringing theater to the people he loved in his home state. I'm very proud of what Paul's done at the Springer, and I think you should be too. He's brought great works, brought actors from all over the state, and all over the country, reaching out as far as New York to bring equity actors in, to bring theater to the people of Columbus. And you should support him by reaching into your pocket and by putting your butt in a seat, or doing both. I will. I have. And I support him 100%. Please stand behind Paul Pierce and the Springer Opera House. It is something that you will never regret.
Our final production on the main stage season is a highly restricted title that we only recently gained production rights for. We are proud to announce that the Springer will conclude its 2023-24 season with Beautiful, the Carole King musical. Grammy Award and Tony Award winner, Beautiful tells the story of the incomparable Carole King's rise as one of the greatest names in popular music. She wrote hits for Aretha Franklin, The Drifters, James Taylor, The Shirelles, Barbra Streisand, The Beatles, and hundreds of other stars before she was catapulted into the stratosphere of stardom with one of the greatest albums of wall-to-wall hits of all time, Tapestry. An album that revealed the genius songwriter was also a superstar performer and recording artist in her own right. Beautiful, the Carole King musical on the Springer main stage, spring of 2024. Beautiful showcases timeless hits like I Feel the Earth Move, So Far Away, Will You Love Me Tomorrow, You've Got a Friend, and A Natural Woman. Here is Latasha Jackson performing Natural Woman from Beautiful, the Carole King musical.
I
you, Tasha. The people you associate with the Springer are the ones you see regularly. Actors, singers, and dancers. But the Springer is a theater factory that operates 7 days a week. Our shows aren't shipped in, they're built from the ground up right here in our shops. The Springer is in the sales, marketing, development, and facility operations business. Our staff includes highly trained specialists in numerous fields, including teachers, writers, directors, photographers, designers, and musicians. Our technicians are carpenters, welders, electricians, mechanics, audio engineers, riggers, stitchers, craftspeople, cutters, drapers, milliners, and makeup artists. We buy our supplies locally. Lumber, hardware, steel, fabric, and electrics, supporting local businesses and their employees. When you buy a Springer ticket, the money largely stays in Columbus. The Springer employees that you don't know are as essential to our storytelling as the actors on stage. They're all working to propel this great institution forward, and they deserve to be celebrated. This may never happen again, but I'd like to ask the Springer staff, full-time, part-time, and seasonal, to come up on stage right now. Beautiful. The Springer Opera House staff, our board, our trustees urge you to support this great institution during this transformational time. Whether you're a current Springer season ticket holder or single ticket buyer, we need you to vote for the future by subscribing to this great season and making a generous donation to the Springer Society. To encourage you to do that, we've instituted an early bird special. From tonight until March 31st, season tickets are 30% off. Yep. We have a big team in the lobby to help you place your order and to answer any questions. The purple sheets give you choices of 3 packages: Kit and Caboodle, Pick 5, and Family Fun. Okay, this is your moment, gang. Staff, what's the message?
Subscribe!
That's right. Thank you for loving the Springer Opera House.